All right. Hey there. What do you say there, world? Welcome to the Racers Recap. I am Justin and being joined. Okay, she's not here, but we got
James Earl.
James Earl is here and a very special guest who has been fangirling over James Earl for the past 20 minutes. It's Hayley.
Hi! I'm so excited to be here. I've been fangirling over you too, but
But what she's saying is, I'm better.
such a fangirl.
Listen, I totally understand. I get it. James Earl is so much more of a fun guy to be around.
Oh, whatever.
James Earl
Whatever.
and I had our medical talk.
Yeah, we're talking all types
Through
of
that
lingo.
instant connection.
I'm over here. I'm like, she's got a Cleveland Cavaliers jersey on. We could talk sports, and she's over here talking doctor stuff, and I'm lost. That's awesome. So things are going really well for you, both of you guys. But you have had such a I've told you before. I've had fun watching your I guess adventure it's been from season 26 to now of how everything.
It has been.
Has been such a cool ride for you. So how's life
It really has been.
after the race?
Life post-race couldn't be any better. Obviously, Blair and I didn't work out, but I did meet the man of my dreams. Yeah, I know. Shocker. Sorry. Shocker of the year there. Spoiler alert. And I'm getting married in September, and just been working a lot, wedding planning, and that's pretty much it. And I'm a mom to two little dogs, too, so can you see it?
Oh, you're getting married. You're getting married before I am.
Yes.
What the hell is that?
We moved quickly, so.
That is awesome.
Labor Day weekend.
Congratulations. That's awesome.
Thank you.
So now the problem is, if you get invited to All Stars, are you gonna run with Blair, or are you gonna take the hubby?
As much as I would love my husband to be there, because I would love to experience that with him. If I had to go with Blair, I absolutely would, because now, I mean, we've already been there, done that. I'm not going to yell at him anymore. He's going to listen.
Are you really not going to yell at him anymore?
Oh, yeah, right.
Here's the thing,
we're like brother and sister, so.
Here's the thing. I thought y'all's little bickering during your season was like adorable. Like, I laughed my little tail off every week.
Watching us in our little arguments all the time.
But see, I didn't think they were like true
they appeared
arguments.
to be.
Like, I felt like everybody was
them
like
weren't.
playing with each other.
Yeah, a lot of it was, and that was like just kind of our communication with each other. I mean, we could say something, and Blair's already got kind of like a dry kind of humor anyway, and I'm the complete opposite. Like, my emotions are written on my face. I'm more like bubbly, fun. So when you mix that together, that's just the interaction that you get. And sometimes we weren't even fighting. It was just how we would talk, and we're like, we're not even mad at each other there. How does it look so bad?
Well, you had on your season obviously had some mixed reactions from the fans.
Oh, sure.
But I think post race you did a pretty good job about turning a lot of the haters around. So what advice do you have for some people like the green team?
Oh, well, number one, I love the green team. And also, I've been kind of using the term now that I've seen in the true fan groups, the casual fans. And those are the ones that just go on, and I don't think they are nice about anything in their life in general online. They're like the keyboard bullies. So no matter what you do, you could have been, they have something to say about somebody every single season. And it's just crazy. You just have to let it go. You just have to let it in one ear, out the other. And, some of the stuff, I used to get kind of upset reading it, and now I'm just like, that's just comical at this point. And then when you actually interact with the people, and I'll comment on something that's totally ridiculous, and they're like, oh, sorry, I didn't know you're actually a real person. Like, what did you think I was, a robot?
Yeah,
we're real people.
They just made you on a little computer. You're just pictures on a screen.
Yeah,
exactly.
My favorite is this is a fan group. This is not for the racers. This is where the fans talk about the show. Listen, I've been a fan longer than I've been a racer.
Exactly. You're like the number one fan. They're just jealous of you because you got their ultimate dream. Not only are you such a super fan, But you guys killed it. I mean, you did amazing.
We had such
So
a
of course they're gonna hate.
Yeah, I mean, there's always going to be haters, but I just wish that obviously everybody could have a love talk and everybody can love talking about the race. I just hate the people that claim to be fans of the race and then talk negative about it. It's like if you're a fan of the race, there's things you can find to talk about that are great.
Or our the number one post, who's your least favorite team and why? Who do you hate the most? We should start doing that. One day I'm going to put, who's your least favorite fan and why? Top 5 least favorite fans.
Top 5 least favorite fans. Me and Diana have definitely a top 3 going. We could probably get to 5, but there's 3 that stand out.
I can probably share at least 2 of them with you.
Yeah, I think we have similar haters for sure. Especially if you go on like RFF or even on Reddit. There's a lot of hate over there.
Yeah. But here's the thing people don't realize, and this is coming from someone who got a very nice edit on TV when they tried to turn some things on me. They could have, like. Every single person that ever races, they can make like the nicest of nicest people, or they can make absolute heinous people. Like it's all in editing, and you don't realize that until you watch it on TV because you see how like they turn some stuff, and it's crazy as like because here's the thing: when I was watching your season, Hayley, like y'all's was the last season before we left and raced. So like a month before we go and race, we're watching y'all's finale. And like I'm watching y'all on TV, and I'm like watching all the comments online. I'm like, oh God, what did I sign myself up for? Like, what is happening right now? And I don't know. It's so crazy being on the other side of it.
It really is, and it was so funny because I had watched the season before mine. It was actually on demand in the hotel that we stayed in right before, like when we're leaving, and before that, like right before I gotten rid of my phone, like before we had turned our phone, I had read all these comments, and I'm like, oh my gosh, are people gonna say this stuff? And I mean, and it's ridiculous the things that people come up with too. Like the one day somebody was like, why is her hair down, or why is she trying to look like a beauty queen or something? I'm like, I'm not. I got up and I took a shower, and that's just how my hair was still wet because I didn't have my hair dryer. Like that was me like right out of the shower, and that was my first shower in like 4 days. So and I'm like, what?
Well, speaking of showering, I heard you guys instantly needed a shower after you guys slept in a computer type of place.
It was a porn house. That's what I call it. An anime porn house. That's what it was. You didn't know about that?
I've not heard the story.
I know. I wanted to bring it up because everybody, I mean, not everybody, but there are talks about it on the boards, and people like know the story. So I found it so interesting because I was like, there's no way. Like they had to have done some research.
I mean,
this is what happened. It was so bad. So we started with the mud run, and then we had 3 days of travel. So I'm like showering in airport sinks. I have my dirty, smelly shoes that went through like mud and all that. It was so bad. There was like mud in my ears. There was like mud in my teeth. It was so bad. And so finally we get to our destination. We had the longest race day ever. It was our essentially our first leg, long day, all this travel, and finally at the end they're like, okay, now we're all done. So I was starving, and I thought, oh, I'm gonna get like this great plate of like Japanese food. No, it was like a bento box with this like piece of something that looked like cheese but tasted like ham. It was awful. It was ham and cheese. Yeah, it probably was. And then I'm thinking we're right in like Tokyo, like in the heart of Tokyo. We're gonna stay somewhere amazing. And so we take this elevator up to like the 8th floor, and optimistic me is standing there like, oh, I bet it's a Coffin Hotel. I'm so excited. This is gonna be great. And I'm looking around when we walk in, and there's all this anime porn comic books. I'm like, are these people naked cartoons? Like, what is this? And then they're like, yeah, this is where we're staying. And they're like, there's all these people, like these weird men sitting around reading the comic books, and then you go downstairs. Yeah, like these weird little men just everywhere. So then we go downstairs, and they're like, here's your room, and it's a cubicle, and you can look over the top, and some people, every cubicle is a little bit different. They have like a computer in them. We couldn't use it, obviously, but there's a computer. I slept across from a phone sex booth, and all night it was like, I was like, what is going on? And some people got, like, Blair had, like, this little weird leather chair, and we got these black leather pillows, and the person next to me, I looked because it was like a regular customer next to me.
You should never look.
And he is naked and
look.
passed out. I know, naked and passed out, and there's like anime porn like playing on his little computer. And so then they had a like snack area in the back with like these bowls of like chips and stuff for anyone to use. I'm like, who wants to eat that? Like, whose hand has been in there after they're doing this stuff? And then they also had like fountain beverages. And I think the only person that like took advantage of any of those amenities was Mike. And he was like, I'm sorry, I'm so hungry. He's like drinking like this Japanese like pop from a thing. And then there was people all night, like one of our crew members that day that we had, one of the camera guys, got stuck next to this glass case of the anime porn DVDs. And that place is hopping all night. All night. It was so disgusting. So I didn't even get a shower there.
I don't think you want to shower there.
No, I didn't. And then even worse was the next morning we had, where I'm like, well, at least we'll get a good breakfast, hopefully. It was McDonald's, but it was like a biscuit with a bunch of ketchup on it. It was like a ketchup sandwich biscuit.
Here's the thing. It was a little early in the race, so you weren't desperate for food yet. Like, you fast forward.
I was like,
Yeah, you fast forward to like 7 or 9, like 7 or 8, 9, you would be devouring that, like eating it.
I know, I'd be like, I'll take 3 ketchup biscuits, please. Any leftovers? I'll eat those later.
But really,
this is the race, people.
House.
This is what the race is like. Ketchup biscuits are a delicacy.
Exactly.
I mean,
exactly.
So many ham sandwiches, ham and cheese sandwiches.
I mean, there's still
bars.
There's still a flight from, I think it was from like Poland to India. There was something on the plate that was presented like food, and I ate every bit of it, like every single morsel of it. But I have no idea to this day what it was. It might have been like a hand soap, but I still ate every bit of it.
I know, I ate whatever. And Blair and I got in this habit where we'd discreetly get up at the end, like after the meals were served, and we'd ask one of the flight attendants, we're like, hey, is there any food left over? And they'd look at us like we were crazy. And then we'd like pack it up and like smush it in our backpacks. I had so much junk. It was so bad.
But you never know. Like, you're so hungry. I remember they thought we were homeless people. We're like sitting in the corner, be like, "Can we have that, please? Can you just throw us that?"
I know. And it's funny because I was traveling a lot for work, and I was always upgraded to first class because I traveled so much. And I'm like, I can't even, I can't believe that I had to, those long flights smushed in the middle of, like, complete strangers and stuff. And you're like, oh, it's awful.
So this is the perfect way to start an interview. I love it. With the shack question. So
exactly.
Other than, like, are you and Blair still hanging out, and the shack question, what is the biggest question that you get on the asked?
I get asked, I would probably say, are you and Blair friends? Yeah, we are actually really good friends. We don't get to see each other that often because with his job, he's a physician in the Navy, so he is always gone, and he goes on missions and does all kinds of cool stuff like that. So he's super busy, and he lives, it's probably about 4.5, 5 hours away. So I don't really get to see him that often, but we do talk all the time. I mean, any big, like, life decision or any, like, big issue I've ever had since the race, I always, like, consult Blair. I'm like, I better call Blair about this. Let me just see what Blair thinks about this because, I don't know, we have such a trusting relationship with each other, and he's a wonderful friend to have. He really, really is.
No jealousy with the future hubby?
No, not at all.
That's awesome.
I mean, because he's completely different. I don't know. He knows that he wasn't, like, Blair wasn't for me. And,
right.
I mean, Blair and I were pretty self-aware from moment one.
You have to see pretty early on. Like, I think for the first, like, half of the first episode, they were still trying to play, like, oh, maybe, and then it just stopped. It was like, they were just like, no, we can't even pretend.
Yeah, so that's definitely the question that I get asked the most. Do you guys still talk? I'm like, Yes, all the time.
So,
You can't go through that experience with someone and they can't like not be in your life forever.
that's the way. No, it's the dog. I was trying to see if he would jump up here. Well, so
Oh,
yeah, so he loves to hang out. So Cleveland Cavaliers, you a big Cleveland fan, or are you
yes.
just a bandwagon LeBron fan?
No, I grew up in Ohio. I've only lived in Florida for 3 years, so I grew up in Ohio. I'm Browns. I'm an avid Cleveland Browns fan, not ashamed to admit it. And the
Wow.
Cavs, I've always been a Cavs fan. Even when LeBron left, I hung tight. I was like, he'll be back. Don't worry. He's from Ohio. You always end up back, where your roots are. And yeah, Indians fan. So,
Wow. So you've dealt with a
and of
lot of
course,
losing. I
Ohio
can
State Buckeyes.
respect
Yeah, exactly.
that. And Buckeyes. I don't want to tell Diana about the Buckeye thing because she's a Penn State girl.
OH.
So would you do All Stars? I get if you were asked season 30
Oh
potentially.
yeah.
You would.
Yes, I absolutely would. Why? I mean, how could you ever turn that down? You couldn't.
I would say I don't think
absolutely I would.
there's very, very few racers out there who would turn down the opportunity. There are a few. I'm not going to say that's 100%.
Right.
But I think most people would, just because you can't buy that experience. I don't care how much money you have, how rich you are, what you do on the race, you can't redo. You can't make that.
Exactly. And now, going back a second time, what an advantage, because you know what to expect. You're probably going to sleep in the anime porn house. You're going to be hungry. That you're going to be dirty. You're going to be tired. Just everything that you know now, because I would have never been able to. That's not what I thought it was going to be. I mean, is it for anyone, when you're actually there?
No, I don't think anyone can be prepared for it. Because, here's the thing, and I think back on it, our first leg, I thought it was so tough. I was like, this is so hard, and this is so miserable. And then I look back, and I'm like, that was actually a really easy leg. That leg was the easiest we had. But I just remember that whole time being, super stressed out just because you have no idea. Because I remember the first thing we did, we had to do that little bicycle park across the water.
Yes, that looks awesome.
And when everyone got there, at first everyone was like, oh, I don't want to get my shoes wet. I don't want to get this and that. And then, you fast forward just a few legs in, Poland, and you see us just, jumping in fully clothed and just, swimming forward, ripping clothes out. It's just such a difference between the beginning and, just even halfway through the race.
It was definitely me that he was making fun of, because I jumped on the thing before I pushed it out because I didn't want to get my shoes wet because I'm like, wet shoes suck. But so I was scared to get my shoes wet. It was a nice dig. I appreciate it. And James Earl was, right from the first leg is when we gained a tremendous amount of respect for James Earl, because I was pushing as hard as I possibly could, and we barely beat them by, seconds. It was less than a minute.
If only we hadn't gotten locked in that taxi.
Yeah. If they learned how to open a taxi door, they would have been first place.
It was child-proof lots. I couldn't even get the windows down. I was crying.
Not only that, but now, a second time around, you realize the first time around you're like, this is my fault and this and that, and it's no, there's so much that is out of your control.
Oh yeah.
So much. What you can control is very little in that game. Very little. So
yeah,
that helps.
So is there anything from your season that you want to clear up that hasn't ever been cleared up or talked about? I know sometimes there's been a couple questions that people ask me that are not really cleared up, or is there everything is pretty much out there for you?
I think the one thing that became kind of, I don't know, just because I'm so competitive, I like to win. That's how I am. And so, when everyone still was going on oh, she blew it. Yeah, we had a good lead. Yes, I didn't see the flags. I was looking at something else, but we still would have lost, plain and simple, because our selfies were us in an airport, and we were getting to or on a plane, and when on the one we're looking, and Blair's which airline had purple cloth seats? And
no.
we looked so, those are the details we were working from. We had very few selfies that were had a landmark or some sort of identification for us.
Oh no.
So we would have lost regardless, because we had no idea. And Tyler and Laura were obsessed with the selfie cam. Tyler was like taking selfies of himself like, in front of every and anything. And so, yeah, we would not have won anyways. As much as I would have loved to just be like, oh, we were so close. No, we still would have lost because of those stupid pictures and how terrible our selfies were.
Wow. So what's one thing that you would do 100% different preparing for the race?
Preparing, I would say, as great of shape as I thought I was in, I definitely needed to be like at the gym 7 days instead of like 5, because there are times that I was just not. I don't know. I was just so like worn out, and I'm like, oh my God, this shouldn't be that hard of a run. And I definitely wish that I wish I would have watched the seasons, a lot more seasons over again, because there's so many little things that you find that are like, oh, in the history of the race, something like this goes. I can't really.
Yeah.
I mean, just the little things that happen, like, oh, for example, on the last task where, I'm looking for something, I'm like, it's probably going to be like a real tiny little needle in a haystack clue, and thank God I had LASIK surgery so I can have this great vision to see, and here's these big obvious flags, and I'm like too busy scoping it out, and it's like, yeah, it's usually something pretty big that you're looking for.
But here's the thing, though. People don't realize, like, when you're on the race, you get so tunnel visioned. Like, the clue can literally be, like, hitting you in the face, and you're like, looking around and be like, where's the clue? Where is it?
In India, there was the U-turn board, and the U-turn board was right next to the clue box. We saw the U-turn board. We couldn't find the clue box. It was literally like a foot away from the U-turn board.
That is so true. Or you just don't read the clue properly because you're like, we have to go. We have to go. And then it's like, oh, it said we could have taken a taxi and we just walked 3 miles.
Yeah. So
down a busy road.
Since Diana can't be here, we should ask her question. What was the hardest thing for you about the race?
For me, about the race?
Yeah. Was it actual race? Was it maybe the sleeping, the eating, the social game? I don't know. What was the hardest thing for you?
I think for me, one of the hardest things was just doing it with a stranger, just because when you're with somebody and someone's like close to you, you know their strengths, you know their weaknesses, you would just like, for example, what Diana's good at, what would freak her out, what would make her anxious.
Right.
And so for Blair and I to not know anything about each other, that's really difficult, because it's like you really have to just 100% trust whatever that person's doing. Like, sure, you want to do this one? All right, you're saying you're well suited for this detour.
Yeah.
Okay.
In a way, it's almost easier because you have no reference to argue. Like,
exactly.
It's like, oh, all of a sudden you're a great singer, or what do you mean? You've never sung a day in your life.
Right. And too, I think part of the thing with Blair is sometimes, like, I initially kind of come off as like a ditzy person, and surprisingly, I'm actually really intelligent. I have a lot going on.
Well, you were right. You were right a lot.
I know. So he just didn't trust me, and so I don't think I presented myself as well. It's like I should have just brought a copy of my resume or something. I'm like, here's some references you can call, and this is what I know, or this is my strong points. So I'm really good with directions for the most part. I don't know. I can read maps, all that stuff. And Blair at first just like wouldn't trust me with stuff like that. And then I finally would be like, here, this is how I remember this, or this is how I do this. Like, these are things I learned. I even took driving lessons before the race because I didn't know how to drive a manual transmission. So I went and took lessons.
I wish everybody on your season did.
Right? Kurtenbergs.
Oh my gosh. We'd still have a car sponsor.
I know. They just couldn't get that part down.
Yeah, there was two. I'm not going back to my season. No. So about the race coming up, is there anybody that you were rooting for? Did you see 28? I mean, the race that just passed. Sorry, did you watch 28?
Yeah, so I did watch 28, and maybe I'm just like oblivious to social media people, I guess. I don't know, but I had zero clue who any of them were. So when everyone's like, they shouldn't have these celebrities on there, I'm like, I have not heard of one of these people.
So they was just regular for you.
Yeah, they were totally regular for me. But I really, really, really liked Corey and Tyler. I liked them a lot. I thought they were great. Matt and Dana, I liked them a lot too. I felt bad for Dana because she's the one getting all the, the
Well, you
haters
got the
and
hate
everything. Yeah, exactly. She did. And I mean, those were definitely. I also like Sherry and Cole a lot too. They were really adorable. They remind me of you and your mom.
Oh, thank you. I'll take that.
So I like them. Yeah, so I like them a lot too. So actually, the season was really good. I thought a lot of their stuff was hard. Some of their tasks were a lot harder than I felt like ours were. So
there was a few
season.
of y'all's tasks on the season that I was like, is that really like the challenge? Like the noodle one, people give y'all a lot of smack for that little noodle challenge, like feed noodles to each other. But y'all had some tough stuff on there too. Like just not that lad.
Did you see the alternative though that Blair and I got stuck with? And of course that's the first leg, so we didn't know that switching was even an option. So Blair and I, that was so hard. That's
when you had to like race. Yeah.
So hard. And even Allie and Steve, Allie's an Olympic speed skater, and even they confirmed that it was difficult, and they only got it I think 20 seconds before the time. So Blair and I we did it 2-3 times, and so our third time it was literally the exact second.
That's all you need. That's all you need.
Exactly. It was the finish. It was done. Pass. Let's go. So yeah. And I'm and then the other people are eating noodles. We're like, what?
Yeah.
You guys did what?
And they were probably tasting really good, so it was a treat. Just a little sloppy treat.
Right? Exactly.
Whatever. So, do you watch or would you go on Survivor and Big Brother? I mean, I'm not.
I wouldn't do Big Brother because I could not be cooped up in a house like that. There's no way.
So
I have
long.
to get out.
It's 3 months.
And yeah, exactly. And not to mention, I just can't sit around and have drama all day. That's all it is. It's just
I think
drama
you'd make
all
for
day.
great TV in the Big Brother house, though.
I would, I would probably. I don't know. My problem with that is I actually like people. I want to be friends with people. I love to get to know people. I love to get to know their stories. So I would be the one getting to know everyone and not playing the game essentially because they're all strategizing, and I'd be sitting there. I don't want to vote people out. That's hard for me. That would be hard for me to do. So
hey, that might be
totally
a good strategy,
Survivor, though.
You just made it to the end just like that. Just making friends with everyone, made it to the end and win.
So,
right, and just be like, I like everybody. I don't have problems.
You just said
I would totally do Survivor.
Uh-oh. Did you hear that? Did you hear that?
No, I didn't. Go ahead. What?
No, she told. I'm saying casting people who are watching because they all watch the show.
Yeah, I would totally do Survivor. I'd be good at Survivor, I think. So I would like Survivor.
Well, I think you would win over a lot of fans if you can survive through Survivor, especially all the haters. Any of your haters, I think that's a chance to win them over. It's like the Twinnies. Went on and they won over a lot.
Oh yeah. I love them. They're adorable.
Oh no, they're hilarious. They're some of my favorite racers of all time. The thing is, though, haters, I know you have a lot of haters, but you also have some fiercely loyal fans. I feel like you have
I do, and I love them.
Yeah, you have the two ends. There's just no middle ground for you. It's just the two ends.
Yeah.
Exactly. It's go hard or go home on the hate. And then it's the same with my loyal fans. And Blair and I absolutely, and Blair's not as involved in social media because he's gone a lot, but I know we totally, totally love our fans. They're just the sweetest people. They really, really are. And their love for the race, I mean, that is so cool because I've always loved Amazing Race. It's been one of my shows. I don't watch a lot of TV, but that's been one that I've always watched. And I was always wanted to be on Amazing Race. So it was a dream come true for me.
Absolutely, I could tell. When you're on the race and you could see people enjoying or trying to enjoy the race for what it is, it means so much more to us super fans that watch because you can notice the little things the Afghanimals. I don't think he was cheesing it up. I think that they just loved the race. They were having so much fun that they were just dancing around and I can relate. They're
like that off camera, Justin. You've met them. You know those two are like that, just 24/7.
Yeah, I love that about them. Like, so I like when people can embrace that rather than throw hate on it. Like, oh my God, they're hamming it up for the
Right.
cameras. There's no cameras around them now, and they still do it. So it has nothing to do with the cameras.
Yeah, exactly. You know what was funny? One of my favorite hate comments was when we were in Namibia. There was Blair was doing the challenge there for us. He was building this little teepee and helping, and it's like a teepee that these people are actually going to live in. And I don't think teepee is the correct term for it. I don't remember their exact terminology for it. But all these little kids were there, and everyone else was like so focused. I'm like, Blair, I'm cheering for you, but I'm gonna go play with the kids over here. And people are like, she's not even paying attention to what Blair he's doing, blah blah blah.
That's
Why is
like,
she playing with the kids? I'm like, because there's all these little kids in like loincloth, like they're in their traditional attire, and it was such culture for me, and I was
I love how you
literally
just call
like
it a
tears in my
loincloth of
eyes.
traditional attire.
Well, I don't know if that's what it is. I try to be correct about it.
no,
God knows, somebody will be like, she didn't even know that what it was called. She called it a teepee.
yeah, it's a yurt, okay? It's a yurt. No. So Diana wanted to do the same thing. Like, if that wasn't a keep on, she was like almost going to cry that was a keep on racing leg in Africa when we had to leave the kids because she wanted to go and play with the kids. She
Oh,
put tattoos.
that was
We were giving
awesome.
the tattoos, and she was like, "Oh my God, I can't believe we went to an orphanage and we didn't get to hang out with the kids." It was so
Right.
I could totally relate to when you say that. Hey, if he's off doing this and you get a chance to hang out with the kids, like I would never be mad at Diana for doing
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Right, and Blair's like, no, that's fine. Like, what are you gonna do? Sit here and say, go Blair, yay Blair? Because then if I would cheer Blair on, I'm like, all right, yeah, go Blair. And then it was funny because then they're like, oh my gosh, she was so unsupportive. She was just like, go Blair. But then some of those were like sound, like that wasn't even what I was saying at that point. They were like sounds clipped in there. So I'm like, I didn't even say that then. But it was on TV, so it must be true and it must be in real time.
Yes. There's
No editing whatsoever.
yes.
None.
They can't put
None.
something there if you don't say it. Remember?
Exactly.
Yes, they can. It's called Franken-edit. Google it.
What? What's it called?
A Franken-edit.
Is that really a term?
Yeah, they put like pieces of a sentence together and you make a sentence.
I'm gonna have to Google this. I'm gonna have to fact check this.
Fact check.
He's gonna check on you.
Well, I mean, James Earl always called me out, and that's another reason that I always had an eye on him because I like straight lied to him twice to his face, and he called me out both times, which was kind of cool but kind of bad because it made me realize that he was like paying attention to everything.
Oh no, I don't mess around.
A lot of respect.
It's funny, like, right? That's a really respectful thing, and it's funny because Blair and I oftentimes, we wouldn't really. Sometimes we wouldn't mingle with everyone at the airport because they would be getting really anxious and hyped up about stuff, and we're like, we just need some peaceful energy right now. And so people would be talking about stuff, and sometimes we would know we would know every time someone was scheming about something, and people thought I think a lot of people thought we were stupid and didn't realize that just because we're not verbalizing anything, we are hearing and seeing everything, and we're going to keep it to ourselves, and then we'll go, we'll use the information when we need to. So it's pretty funny when we would, we knew a step ahead of time.
Who are you closest to now after the race?
Definitely Mike and Rochelle. I'm really close with Bergs. I talk to Jelani a lot, Blair, John and Harley.
Wow, everybody, pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, we're actually a pretty close group. I think because of our dynamics, we had a lot of strangers that we all had to kind of mingle with. And so we had, with our season being unique, I think we all pretty much bonded. Oh, I also love Lida. Oh my gosh, she's one of my favorite people in the whole world. She's so adorable.
I must say, that's a shame we didn't get to see more of her on TV because she seemed like a character.
Oh my gosh, if she is easily one of the sweetest people in the entire world. Like she is just adorable. I was hoping when I was traveling a lot for work and I flew Southwest that I would see her. I was like, I want to have a play with Lida so bad, but then I want to talk to her. She's working. I'd be like, please just come sit by me, So yeah, our season's really great though.
Have you gotten to go to one of the NKOTB shows and gotten that VIP treatment?
Yeah, I went to 5 of them.
Holy cow!
Yeah. I went to one in Cleveland. I did Orlando. I did two in Michigan, or one in Michigan, or was it two? One in Michigan, for Rochelle's birthday. Oh, actually, I did two in Michigan.
Look
Yeah.
at you.
So, and then where's the other one? Another one in Florida. I think Fort Lauderdale
So,
was it?
were you
Yeah.
a big,
So
were
it
you a
was really
big fan
fun.
before?
No, I'm not. I don't know. Maybe I'm going to be 30 in September, so I was more in the NSYNC
NSYNC.
BSB era. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, they killed it. New Kids is an amazing concert. They're all in like tip-top shape, like ripped, and they go hard the whole show. It was such a great time. Oh, but Nelly and TLC were there. TLC, amazing. Nelly, I was like, is that really him? He was like really raspy. He's like, I can't even describe it. It was really heartbreaking for me actually, because I was total Nelly fangirl, and I'm like, this was it? Is that
You don't
really
have that
him?
country grammar no more?
It wasn't. It was really raspy. At first, I got confused and I thought it was Ja Rule. Because it's Ja Rule or Nelly. It was Nelly. So.
I love it. Talking 90s hip hop with Hayley.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. I actually wrote a rap song for Blair on the race.
What? What? Do you still remember this? Because I'm gonna
Yeah,
need to
of course
hear
I do.
Uh-oh.
You guys have never heard it?
I don't know.
No.
Let's go. I love it. This is a Racers Recap. Hashtag Racers Recap exclusive.
All right, are you ready? It's really, it's really bad. It goes, my name is Blair, and I live on a boat. I wear a red coat. I'm going to dig a moat. I just milked a goat. Now put my groceries in my tote.
Oh, my God.
You made that up while on the race?
Yeah.
Not really word steaming.
These are real facts about Blair. He lives on a boat, and he had a red coat that he wore on the race.
So that's, duh.
I don't know.
You were freestyling.
He didn't really
You
milk
just
a goat
read
or
it.
anything. Yeah. That's
Who
a
knew?
lot of time in airports. That's what it does to you.
That is awesome. Have you been made friends with any other castmates from other seasons or other shows?
Yeah, definitely from other seasons. Okay, randomly, do you guys remember Ray and Dina? I forget what season they were on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they're from Youngstown, Ohio, where I'm from. And so I've got to meet both of them. Really cool people. They're both wonderful people. They both still live in Ohio, but Ray actually comes to Florida a lot because he has a house down here too. So I've got to see him down here with
we
his
hung out with Dina.
fiance.
I
love Dina.
Did you just say Beyonce? I thought you said you hung out with Beyonce.
Beyonce. No, his fiance. She's wonderful too. And
like, look at you name dropping, hanging out with Beyonce.
And I love Krista and Tiffany. They are so adorable. Jasmine and Danielle. Like, you guys had such a great season. I think I love every single person from your season. The
There's
only
two
people
you
I
haven't met
never.
them.
Yeah, no, I was gonna say, I'm getting there. I was gonna say, the only two that I haven't ever had any type of contact with from your season is TMZ team.
Yeah, we
No,
never had
but
contact with them
everyone
either.
else. I don't doubt it. I mean, I don't know them. I'm not sure what their lives are like, how they are in real life. So yeah, but no, everyone from your season, like, what a great cast. I'm kind of jealous. I was wondering maybe you guys could adopt me. Can you adopt me? Can I be like an honorary?
Honorary 27.
Yes. Come to Reality Rally in Hearts of Reality. Let's come hang out.
I know.
Wait,
I
you
want
did
to
that last
do
year,
more
right?
of that stuff. It's just I'm so busy. No, I didn't get to go. We weren't allowed to do a lot of stuff because of how our contract was for the
I saw
one.
the pictures, though, right? Like, I saw pictures of you and Blair, and I think Version, and there's like some fundraiser. You were dressed as pirates. I've done some hardcore stalking. Oh, you weren't there? My bad.
It wasn't me. No, I wasn't there. It was someone else.
I just photoshopped you in the pictures of my mind.
Yeah, exactly. In your mind, you're like, oh, there's Hayley in the pirate costume.
Just back of the batter like this.
So here we are. You ready for the finals? Do you think that Cleveland has a chance to actually come back and win it, or
Yeah.
or is that just the Ohio in you, like I believe, or
Probably. because we're loyal fans through and through. So Believeland, that's what we call it. So
I
yeah,
love-
I really think we have a chance though. I really, really, really do. With LeBron back, I mean, not saying that he carries the whole team, but he does usually perform pretty well.
Well, he's one of the best players
I'd
ever.
love for them to win. He really is. Yeah, he's definitely a great. And
Hayley,
he actually, his hometown of Akron is like 30 minutes from where I grew up.
by the way, Hayley, someone posted on one of the little Facebook groups. It was Michael Harmstone said, "Hayley, who's your least favorite fan?" So you're not called out.
You know, I don't remember the lady's name because I think she got kicked out of the group, but there's one lady, and every single day, I'm like, does this lady have like a quota of hate posts that she has to make? It was always, Justin's a crybaby, Diana needs to leave him, and then
I think I know who it is.
Blair.
I think I know
You
exactly
probably
who it
do.
is.
And then she's like, you shouldn't have put yourself out there, and I'm like,
First
okay,
name starts with
I
an
get
S.
that, but yeah, yes.
I know exactly who it is.
Yes. And I'm like, lady, go away. Like, it's you. And if people were just a little more productive in their lives, like, instead of taking all that hate, like, why can't you go, if you have all this spare time, be productive, go volunteer somewhere or do something, go for a walk. I don't know, but
Go find some
sit there all
love.
day.
Oh,
Yeah,
if you think you're that hot shit, like apply to the race and be really good then, and let's see you do it.
Yeah, and if you act like that behind a keyboard, I'm going to hate to see how
Go-
you are in real life.
You know what I hate? I'm sorry. I hate the fans that I don't hate fans at all, but I hate the people who are saying like these people are taking our spots and they never applied for the race, or they applied like 5 years ago. Like they're not taking your spots because you were too lazy to fill in an application twice a year for 5-10 years in a row to get on the race. And
Right.
it's like if you really wanted to get on the race, and you would get on the race. Like there has been 29 seasons. If you applied for 29 seasons, you'd probably get on the race at some point just for consistency.
Exactly. And that's the thing that's like really funny about it too, is how they're like, oh, these aren't normal people. Let's see another doctor on the race. Yeah, actually, doctors are some of the most normal people I know. Like Blair, James Earl, you guys are totally normal people. Like Cindy and Rick, totally normal people. You know, and it's like, who cares what they do? And they're like, you don't need the money. Actually, doctors need the money more than anyone because of the student loan debt.
I am in so much debt. You don't even want to see my bank account.
Right? Like you guys could have won, and you would have been like after like the taxes and everything.
No, I would have been net zero. Like I would have left with like maybe $5,000. That was amazing.
Right. Maybe you'd had a little left over for like some Chipotle at the end or something. After the loan payment.
Let's not get too crazy. Might have to do Moe's, not Chipotle.
Yeah, but the same people who say, oh, we want real people, like the Cowboys who are world-class rodeo athletes, or the Globetrotters who are like the best basketball players on earth. Yeah, just regular people. Like,
because everyone could be a Globetrotter and everyone could be a world-class rodeo rider, all that. Yeah. And
just regular people.
I think people are pretty normal because, you and Diana don't have normal. A teacher is not a normal occupation.
She's a teacher, and I had to quit my radio job to get on the race. So we're both regular people.
Right. That's so funny, though. So funny.
So awesome. Well, Hayley, I wanted to make sure that we got you off in time so you can prep to watch the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Go Cavs! I'm so excited.
Listen,
did you say lose?
Well, I could say you can root for them. I'm not a big LeBron fan, and I also just think that the Warriors are a better team, and at home, I don't think they're going to lose this year again. But I don't want to put some hate on you.
But are you going to go post about me? I can't believe she likes Cleveland.
Oh my gosh, she's such a no. Listen, I have a lot more respect for you because you've been rooting for losing teams for years, so you're not like a bandwagon fan. You're a real fan.
I know.
So I can respect that.
Exactly. I've been there through all the horrible seasons when
so
the Browns don't ever win a game. Yeah, we do. We definitely do. And I might not see one in my lifetime, but a girl can dream, right?
Well, thank you so much.
I have no idea what's happening right now. This is just like a foreign language y'all just had. I feel like I was back in like India asking for directions. I'm just staring at people.
It's pop culture relevance. It's trending on Twitter. We got to be talking about stuff like that.
James Earl, I'll tell you, I went to a really good cardiovascular conference and it was a really good AFib lecture. So we can talk.
We can do that later. That'll bore everyone else in here. Like everyone else will sign out.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. We'll do some EKG strip recognition.
We'll just do a little lesson for the whole class.
No way.
Yeah. We'll have like a little class. So there. See, I'm versatile.
Listen, if we're going to do something like that next week, we could provide free CPR lessons live on our show. Provide a service for the listeners.
Justin, you laugh, but that's been a task on The Amazing Race before. As in Canada, they had to do CPR.
Look
Really?
at you.
Yeah, I would have nailed that.
Oh.
Task. Would have nailed it.
We would have killed it. Hot, 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 hot. Stay alive, stay alive. We totally would have killed it. Watch your clock. How many minutes are we at?
No, but really, like Hayley, like literally, they had to like do the proper like depth and timing, like it was hooked to the computer, and if they didn't do it right,
awesome.
it like failed them. No, it was like legit.
And that gets really, really tiring. For someone that's done a lot of CPR on real people, it's like an ab workout. Like for 2 or 3 days afterwards, my abs burn. Yeah, you are. That's a really physical task.
Well, I did get certified when I was a Boy Scout and a lifeguard, so that's when I was a while ago. But I think it's definitely a skill that everybody should learn. It's something that everybody can learn, and you could save a life. Like, what is?
Absolutely.
I mean, saving a life. If the opportunity comes up and you react in the right way, I mean, there's nothing in the world like it.
Exactly.
Except winning the race. Except winning the race.
Oh, if only.
No one in this room can say that.
Okay.
Yeah, we can't. We don't know what that feels like.
All right, that's gonna wrap it up. It's the losers recap.
Yeah, exactly. What we've done.
Well, thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate you, and every one of you for taking the time to hang out with us. Thumbs up, like us, share us, all that. We really appreciate it. Now you got 10, 15 minutes to get ready for the game. Thank you so much.
For the game. Thank you so much for having me. Let me be a fangirl.
You're always welcome.
This is so much fun.
This is. Bye, guys.
Bye. From Diana, Krista, Justin, James Earl, thank you so much. James Earl.
Bye.
Yeah.
Yeah, bye.